Hi, I'm Fred Nahat, and you're watching American Graduate Day on Detroit Public TV. As Michigan's new state superintendent, Brian Whiston is entrusted with the responsibility to make sure that all students have access to high-quality education. MiWeek anchor Christy McDonald sat down with him in September for a wide-ranging conversation about student achievement, teacher evaluations, and how Michigan compares to the rest of the country.
Brian, you've said that you want to make Michigan a top 10 state for education in the next 10 years. So I guess to even go forward with that, do you have to start with a grade? What kind of grade would you give Michigan's education system right now?
Well, it depends on what stats you look at, but mostly we're performing a lower third of the state, so that wouldn't be a very good grade that we would have to give ourselves if we were honestly looking at it. But with that said, there's a lot of great things happening in classrooms all over the state of Michigan. There's a lot of great teachers who are building relationships and making a difference in the lives of kids. So individual classrooms, a lot of great things going on. Overall, as a system, you know, we need to do much better.
All right, you just started the job on July 1st. Do you have a first 100-day plan, or what do you have starting in the works now?
As you said, we want to make Michigan a top 10 state in the next 10 years. So what we're doing is going around and listening to people, asking that question, getting input from business people, educators, classroom teachers, experts in the field, think tanks. We're having people come to board meetings in August and September and share that. And so we're really kind of listening and learning right now to see what we need to do to make Michigan a top 10 state.
So what have you heard? Anything that has surprised you?
No, nothing that's surprisingly, but we've heard that poverty counts. We've heard that we have to be engaged in preschool. We have to have opportunities and options for kids throughout their education. We need to have college and career-ready things, including giving kids opportunities to graduate from high school with college credits. So I don't think we're going to hear anything earth-shattering, but it's important to listen to the experts so that we can build a coalition around how do we make Michigan this. I could come out with my top 10 on my own, but then I don't have the support to change Michigan the way we need to. So it really is about listening and learning to others and building a coalition to move Michigan forward.
All right, well, let's start talking about some of these specifics. And since you started talking about poverty, we can jump off right there because many of the low-performing schools have a high number of impoverished kids. How do you start to work on that when you're trying to help out?
You know, it's a very important question, and unfortunately we have focused on who is managing the districts, the role of the board, role of the superintendent, emergency manager. All those things are important, but if we don't focus on the classroom, we're not going to see changes in those districts. So what we need to do is provide support to those local districts and send almost an army of experts in to see what's happening into the classroom, make some recommendations of changes that need to be made, some professional development to make sure the staff knows how to work with students of poverty, know how to work with students who are struggling, provide that support to the teachers, and then really change the classroom instruction from the teacher being a teacher to being a facilitator of the learning. Students need to take ownership. You know, whether it's in second or third grade, they should know their reading level, their math level. They should chart where they're at, and then as they grow throughout the year, they need to chart that growth. And when students are invested in their own education, they do much better. So we need to get students owning their education, teachers taking a step back, and facilitating the learning.
Is there also a ... that parents need to have an ownership in the education as well?
They do, and as you know, in many poverty situations, it may not be parents, it may be guardians or grandparents or other family members, but the answer to that is yes. You know, in the school that I used to run, it was a very low-performing school. We got the parents engaged. We brought them in, we taught them how to work with their kids in reading and in math, so that when they're at home, because see, we only have them 12% of the calendar year. 88% of the time they're not in schools. So we need that partnership with the parents to set aside, and as we start school's about to start, we need parents to set aside a half hour to an hour every night so that their students can read, play math games, you know, play games with the families, put down the electronic equipments, turn off the TV, and really concentrate and have fun as a family while they're learning.
Let's talk a little bit about teachers. Do you think the teachers in Michigan feel supported?
No, I don't think they do. And, you know, education has been under attack in Michigan for the last decade or so. And I think that's unfortunate because, you know, the teachers are the experts. They know what they need to do, and we need to support them. And quite frankly, why would someone go in being a teacher right now? You're going to graduate, you're going to make it in the low 30s, and you're going to have this constant pressure and attack. Now, with that said, do we need to do better? We do. We do need to do better, but we need to do better by supporting our great teachers, helping the teachers who are struggling to do better, and the handful of teachers that aren't cut out for teaching, we need to help them find an exit.
How should we be evaluating our teachers?
Well, whether you're a superintendent, a board member, an administrator, or a teacher, you should be evaluated. And the legislature, I'm calling on them to pass legislation on how we should be evaluating and what percentage of it should be on student performance. And if the legislature passes a bill, that's great. If they don't, then I'll move forward using the authority of state superintendent to say, districts, you need to evaluate using one of the 4 models that came out of the Ball report. And if a local district wants a different model, they can use a different model, but with our limited dollars, we will only provide support and training in those 4 models that the Ball report came out with. So evaluating our teachers is very important.
And to watch the full interview with Superintendent Whiston, visit myamericangraduate.org. Stay tuned, there's more American Graduate Day to come right here on Detroit Public TV.
You're watching American Graduate Day